Hello students, in today's class we will discuss preparation of colloid, purification of colloid and properties of colloid. As you know that we are running with surface chemistry of class 12th. So in previous class we have discussed how the colloids are classified, and in today's class we are starting with preparation of colloid. Now, as you know, colloids are of two types. One is lyophilic, other is lyophobic. Now, in preparation of colloid, we need to prepare different methods for lyophobic sol only. No need to prepare any method for lyophilic, because that such type of colloid such type of colloids have great affinity between disperse phase and dispersion medium. So such type of colloids can be prepared by direct method. No need to use any indirect method. Like in previous video you have seen, direct method means if you need to prepare a colloid sol of starch in water, then the starting substance are starch and water itself. So there is nothing to discuss in lyophilic, but lyophobic cannot prepared by simple mixing. They can prepared by indirect method. So we need to prepare here how we can prepare. We need to understand how we can prepare lyophobic sol. Now lyophobic sol can be prepared by these two technique. One is condensation and second is dispersion. Condensation means small particles are induced to aggregate to form big particles. You can see here smaller particle. We will do something so that these particles associate and convert into particles of colloidal dimension. These are the particles having size less than 1 nanometer. Such technique is known as condensation. Another technique is dispersion. In dispersion, bigger particles are broken down into particles of colloidal dimension. Here the size is more than 1000 nanometer. I hope you remember, size of colloidal particle is in between 1 and 1000 nanometer. Now, one by one we will discuss both techniques, condensation as well as dispersion. First we are starting with condensation. There are two methods in condensation. One is chemical process and other is physical process. In chemical process, you need to prepare some chemical reactions which are given as per our syllabus in NCERT. Now here you may ask simple direct question, how can you prepare colloidal sol of gold? How can you prepare colloidal sol of sulfur? Then you need to write these chemical reactions. This chemical reaction leads formation of gold particles. This chemical reaction involve formation of sulfur particle. Gold particle associate and convert into colloidal particle. Here also sulfur particle aggregate like this and convert into finally a colloidal sol of sulfur. So few reactions are given in NCERT. You need to prepare this reaction. I repeat, you may have a direct question, how can you prepare colloidal sol of gold? How can you prepare colloidal sol of sulfur? And you need to write these chemical reaction. This is first process in condensation. Now another way in condensation is physical method. Physical method, there is only one method as per our syllabus. It is solvent exchange. Here we prepare a true solution of sulfur and alcohol. Sulfur is soluble in alcohol, so you prepared a solution sulfur and alcohol. Now we will add a liquid in which solvent of previous solution is soluble. Here solvent is alcohol. Alcohol is soluble in water, but sulfur is insoluble in water. So here alcohol dissolve in water, and therefore sulfur particles aggregate and form bigger particles of colloidal dimension. I repeat, in this method, a true solution, here example sulfur and alcohol, a true solution mixed with other liquid, which is water here, mixed with other liquid in which solvent is soluble, but solute is insoluble. These solute particles associate and form particles of colloidal dimension. So these are two processes in condensation. One is chemical and other is physical. Now dispersion. In dispersion, as we know, bigger particles are broken down into smaller particles. There are three methods for dispersion technique. First is mechanical. It is a simple process. In this technique, in mechanical process, the bigger particles are grinded into particles of colloidal dimension by using a mill. This mill can be considered as colloidal mill. These two discs rotate in different direction. Once this particle pass through this, they will broken down as per the distance between these two roller. The distance is maintained between these two roller is 1000 nanometer. So all the particles which are coming out here having size less than 1000 nanometer, it means this will be colloidal particles. Second is electric disintegration, or it is also known as Bragg arc method. Electric disintegration or Bragg arc method. In this method, the element whose colloidal soul need to be prepared is taken as these two electrode. For example, these are made by gold. If we need to prepare a colloidal soul of gold, you can see here this is positive terminal and this is negative terminal. Now they both are suspended in dispersion medium. When an electric arc is produced between these two electrodes, how can we produce electric arc? We will try to connect these two electrodes, and as soon as you connect the positive and negative terminal, you have seen in day-to-day life a spark is produced. Spark means a very high temperature. At this high temperature, some of the gold particle will vaporize, but because they are suspended in dispersion medium, these particles, the particle first vaporize, very short time, in very short time they will cool down because they are suspended in dispersion medium. They gathered with each other, associate with each other and convert into particles of colloidal dimension. I repeat, first particle vaporize, they cool down because of dispersion medium, the particle associate and convert into particles of colloidal dimension. This is Bragg arc method or electric disintegration. So positive negative terminal, try to connect them, try to make contact in between them. A spark is produced. At a very high temperature of spark, particles vaporize. After cooling down, they aggregate and convert into particles of colloidal dimension. Third, very important, it is peptidation. In peptidation, precipitate convert into colloid by shaking with small amount of electrolyte. I repeat, this is the most important method. You can ask, define peptidation. It is conversion of precipitate into colloid by shaking precipitate with small amount of electrolyte. Now, what is the role of electrolyte? Precipitate means, it is big particle. It is cluster of billions of particle. If we shake, it may convert into smaller particle. But as soon as we keep this solution standby, the particle once again can collapse and convert into precipitate. So what is need of this electrolyte? Look at here. This is a precipitate of ferric hydroxide. When you shake with this electrolyte, due to a property of substance which says that like ion easily absorbed by adsorbent. So here the like ion, this is ferric hydroxide, so Fe plus 3, this is like ion, Fe plus 3 will absorb over ferric hydroxide, and once it absorbs, you can see now it is converted into such type of particle. It is converted into such type of positive charge particles. So once again listen carefully. When you shake with this FeCl3, during shaking two processes operate here. One, it will be broken down into smaller particle, like here we have drawn this particle. So on shaking, it converts into smaller particle. Simultaneously, like ion will be absorbed over these particles, because now all particles are like charged, like here +3 and +3. They cannot collapse with each other, they cannot aggregate with each other due to like charge, and therefore it exists as colloidal sol. So this is precipitation. Electrolyte means anything which carry charge. Fe+3 adsorb here, like ion adsorb here. The particles are smaller one, as well as they all carry like charge, therefore they cannot collapse. One more example you can see here: silver nitrate mixed with excess of potassium iodide solution. When you mix this two solution, you will see yellow precipitate of silver iodide. AgI will be appeared as precipitate. Now because we used here excess of potassium iodide, now if you shake this precipitate, because this is excess, here like ion is iodide, so iodide will be adsorbed here, and it convert finally into AgI minus colloidal sol. I repeat, they react with each other, they form precipitate silver iodide. This is in excess of amount. Out of this two ion K plus and I minus is like ion adsorb here, and it appeared as colloidal sol of AgI I minus. Similarly, in the same condition, if we mix silver nitrate and Ki, this time suppose this is in excess. Now once again, first AgI will be precipitate, but because this time silver nitrate is excess, silver is common ion like ion, so this time the colloidal form will be AgI Ag plus. So you may ask, what is charge on colloidal sol? If Ki in excess, if AgNO3 excess, I minus Ag plus, this is negative sol, and this is positive charge colloidal sol. So these are method for preparation of lyophobic sol. Next is purification of colloid. Purification of colloid means removal of excessive electrolyte. Remember in the previous preparation we added FeCl3. Now excess of FeCl3 may destabilize colloid. I repeat, some amount of this is required for colloid, but excess of it can destabilize colloid. Removal of this excessive electrolyte is known as purification of colloid. This can be done by two methods. One is dialysis and other is ultracentrifugation. In dialysis, we prepare a bag which is made by parchment paper, cellophane or animal cell membrane. It is cellophane membrane, parchment paper or animal cell membrane, and we kept here impure colloidal, as you can see in this diagram. Now I indicated this as pore size, and these are the particles of blue particles are particles of true solution, red particles are colloidal particles. You can see the size of particles of true solution are very small as compared to pore. So particles of true solution can come outside, but particles of colloid cannot come outside. So in this way we can use this method for purification. I repeat, particles of true solution can come out, but particles of colloidal cannot come outside because of their size. Now if you want to speed up the process, you need to use electrodes plus and minus. This electrode will pull opposite charge ions, and that's why the process become at fast speed, and now the process is also known as electrodialysis. Another method is ultracentrifugation. Centrifugation means you need to rotate a substance at very high speed. When you rotate, the particle will settle down as per their gravitational force, as per their size. So when you shake the impure colloidal at high speed, when you rotate impure colloidal at high speed, the bigger colloidal particles settle down at bottom and smaller particles of true solution remain upper side. So this is on ultracentrifugation, rotation at high speed. Properties of colloid. Next topic. Again an important one. As far as your examination concerned, properties of colloid, there are 6 different properties you need to prepare here. The first is Brownian movement. You have studied earlier, it is zigzag motion. What is meaning of this zigzag motion? Generally, particles of true solution, when they move, they change the direction only once they collide with wall of container, or if they colloid with some other particle like this. But here this is colloidal sol, and in the colloidal sol you can see the particle continuously change its position without colliding with other particle or with wall of container. It continuously change direction of propagation. This zigzag motion is known as Brownian movement, and the reason for this zigzag movement is unequal force of dispersion medium on dispersed phase. What is meaning of unequal force? You know, colloid is heterogeneous mixture. Let this is a colloidal particle, this side another particle, and this side some other particle. You can see this is unequal distribution. This side we have dense solution and this side lighter solution. So the particle has more force in this direction, more attractive force in this direction, so it moves in this direction. This is meaning of unequal force. So because of unequal force, the particle change its direction of propagation continuously, and this zigzag motion is known as Brownian movement. Another very favorite of the student, it is Tyndall effect. You all have seen Tyndall effect, especially when you go in multiplex to watch a movie. You saw the radiations coming out from the window and they convert into the complete picture on the screen. This is you have seen that very small window produce the radiation, and the picture you can see on the wide screen. So it move in cone shape structure, and this cone is known as Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect, you know, it is scattering of light by a colloidal particle when we pass a strong beam, when we pass a strong beam through a colloidal sol. You have seen in dark room, if you on a torch, then you can see the path of the light. That is known as Tyndall effect. Another one is electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is movement of colloidal particles toward opposite charged electrode. Just few minutes back we have discussed that colloidal particle may have positive or it may have negative charge. So in electrophoresis we will fill the colloid in a U-shaped glass tube. Here it is positive terminal, here it is negative terminal. After some time we will see dense particle near positive electrode or near negative electrode or toward both side, and this indicates that colloidal particle consist charge and they move toward opposite charge electrode. This movement toward opposite charge electrode is known as electrophoresis. Fourth property of colloid, it is a colligative property. You know colligative property, solution you have learned earlier. It is the property which depend on number of particle. Now suppose you have 1 gram particles of true solution and 1 gram colloid. It is particle of true solution 1 gram and 1 gram colloid. Because colloids are big particle, definitely they must have very high gram molecular mass, and because they have high gram molecular mass, if you convert both into moles can be converted, moles may be calculated by given mass upon gram molecular mass. As they have high gram molecular mass, they will have less number of moles. When they have less number of moles, they have less number of particles, and if they have less number of particle, it means the colligative property, the magnitude of colligative property is less for colloid. Magnitude of colligative property means elevation in boiling point will be less, depression in freezing point will be less, osmotic pressure is less, as well as lowering in vapor pressure is also less. So all the colligative property will have low magnitude in case of colloid, because due to high gram molecular mass they have relatively less number of particles. Fifth property, it is zeta potential or electrokinetic potential. Now this is colloid, as we discussed earlier. This is particle which adsorb like ion. Here like ion is positive particle, this is plus plus plus, it adsorb here. Now out of these two ions, that is iron plus 3 and chloride, iron plus 3 adsorb over the surface of catalyst. It form a layer of positive charge particle, and because it carry positive charge, it attract negative charge particles from the solution, that is chloride. So chloride are also there. Now they are adsorbed, so you can say these are fixed particle. It is a fixed layer, also known as stationary layer, and this is because movable, it is known as mobile layer or diffused layer. You can see difference in the charge. It is positive charge, it is negative charge. This potential difference between fixed and mobile layer is known as zeta potential or electrokinetic potential. So a simple question you may ask here, what is zeta potential or electrokinetic potential? So you will write, it is potential difference between fixed layer and mobile layer of a colloid is known as zeta potential or electrokinetic potential. So these are first 5 properties. We have left with one more property, that is coagulation, very important, but it requires slightly more time. And then 2-3 small topics left in this chapter, that is emulsion and gold number, applications of colloid and colloids around us. So this will continue in next class. Till that, bye bye.